Have you ever been right in the middle of a sentence with a friend, only to see their eyes kind of glaze over and drop down to their phone? Yeah, of course you have. We all have. That's the moment you get phubbed. But what if you could turn that everyday annoyance into a fascinating social experiment? So how would you actually study it? Let's break down how you can become a phubbing researcher right now.
First things first, let's get a clear definition. Phubbing is, simply put, the act of ignoring someone in a social setting by focusing on your phone instead. It's that moment a digital screen wins the battle for attention over a real, live person who is sitting right in front of you.
Okay, so we all know it when we see it. It's everywhere. But how do you go from just noticing it to actually studying it? I mean, how do you capture real hard data on this behavior out in the wild? Well, that's the challenge we're going to break down. Our guide for this whole mission comes directly from a real assignment at Brock University. You can think of it as our official mission briefing. We're going to walk through the exact steps students take to conduct a direct observation of phubbing right in its natural habitat, a university campus.
Every good mission has rules of engagement, and this one's got 3 pretty simple ones. 1, find a public spot, like a cafeteria or a study lounge. 2, choose a group of 3 or more people who are clearly socializing. And 3, and this is the trigger, your 10-minute timer starts the instant one person in that group looks at their device. Boom, that's it. You are officially collecting data.
Okay, the clock is ticking. You're not just people watching anymore, you are a researcher in the field. So what exactly are you supposed to be looking for? Let's open up the toolkit. So the observation is kind of twofold. For the person doing the phubbing, you're tracking the frequency and the duration of their phone use, plus their level of disengagement. But at the same time, you're watching the rest of the group. How do they react? Do they try to re-engage the phubber? Or do we see that classic chain reaction where everybody else just gives up and pulls out their own phone?
Now, here is a really fascinating part of the assignment. You, the researcher, have to define what disengagement actually means. What does it look like? Is it just silence? Is it a subtle shift in body language? Maybe turning away from the group? Maybe it's somebody putting in an earbud. This one little detail shows you that this kind of research isn't just about counting. It's about interpretation.
So, you've done your observation sessions. You've got a notebook full of raw data and scribbles, but the mission is not over. Now comes the analysis. This is where you turn those scattered observations into a structured, insightful scientific report. Every good scientific report follows a really clear structure. You can think of it like the story arc of your research. You start with the purpose, you explain your method, you present the raw results, then you interpret everything in the discussion, and finally, you wrap it all up with a conclusion. It's the standard way to tell the story of your data. And this is where your messy field notes get transformed into cold, hard facts. You organize everything into a clean, professional table. This gives anyone reading your report a quick snapshot of your observations, the who, what, where, and when. And believe me, this table is the foundation for all the analysis that comes next. And here are some pro tips for presenting results based on real academic standards. The results section is for facts only, no opinions allowed yet. You always have to introduce a table with a sentence or two, and you have to format it perfectly with clear titles. And here's a fun stylistic rule: use only horizontal lines in your tables. It's that kind of precision that separates casual observation from credible research. All right, we've collected the data and we've presented it. Now for the most important part, the debrief. This is where we answer the big question. So what? Why does tracking these small moments of digital distraction actually matter? So this is the first big question you get to tackle in your discussion. You start looking for patterns. Was phubbing more common during a casual lunch than it was during a group project meeting? Did the location seem to make a difference? This is where you really start connecting the dots.
This is where we move from just how often to what happens. Based on your definition of disengagement, what did you actually see? How did the group dynamics shift? Did the energy in the conversation just die? Did the whole thing fall apart? This is where the real human cost of phubbing starts to become visible.
The best researchers are also their own biggest critics. This assignment actually requires students to identify weaknesses in their own method. For instance, that definition of disengagement we talked about, that's a potential weakness because it's subjective. But here's the thing, acknowledging these limits doesn't weaken the study, it actually makes it way more credible.
So now we zoom all the way out, from the specific data to the really big picture. What do all these tiny 10-minute observations truly tell us about the overall health of our social lives in the digital age?
And this is the final, really powerful question the assignment leaves us with. It's the ultimate takeaway. What is the real long-term cost of these constant interruptions on the very connections that are supposed to make us resilient? It's a question that goes far beyond a university assignment, and it's one we all might want to think about the next time we reach for our phones.